Effect as far as public safety goes. Was it a perfect operation? No.
Border Czar Tom Homan said today he wants to turn down the temperature around immigration enforcement in Minnesota, announcing 700 agents will leave Minnesota, but emphasizing enforcement will continue and there will not be another drawdown until attacks on federal agents stop. Thanks for joining us at 5 on air and streaming on KARE 11 Plus. I'm Julie Nelson.
And I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. Homan says the move makes strides towards his goal to achieve a complete drawdown here in the Twin Cities.
He said the reduction in agents is a result of cooperation between county jails and the feds, making it easier for immigration authorities to apprehend targets. Ian Russell leads us off with more on Homan's comments today. Ian?
Yeah, well, the big news out of this is that 700 federal immigration agents are leaving the Twin Cities today. Though with the increased numbers that are here, there are still roughly 2,000 agents in Minnesota.
An early morning.
One thing was clear. We all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities.
And an early indication of when the surge of federal immigration officials in Minnesota may end.
I have announced effective immediately. We will draw down 700 people effective today.
Border Czar Tom Homan says that decision comes after talks with state officials and, quote, unprecedented cooperation with counties across the state.
More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations.
The executive director for the Minnesota Sheriff's Association says this isn't a requirement, but a best practice, adding that it's still up to each county how they participate. It's against state law for anyone to be held past their release date solely on an ICE detainer if there's no other reason to release them. Homan says they're not asking for that.
They are not. By merely notifying us before they release them, they don't hold them 1 minute past they normally would.
Homan also admitted that the work they've done here has not had a spotless record.
So I think it's very effective as far as public safety goes. Was it a perfect operation? No.
An early indication of the possible end of this operation, as Homan says there's more to be done before that happens.
Again, a complete drawdown is going to depend on the cooperation, continued cooperation of local and state law enforcement, and the decrease of the violence, the rhetoric, and the attacks against ICE and Border Patrol.
Homan also announced that there will now be one chain of command. He says that's to make sure they're on the same page and to make sure that, quote, we follow the rules. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty responded to today's news, saying the county already provides legally required information to ICE, adding that anything further would be, quote, illegal pathways. In her statement, Moriarty says, quote, local county jails hold people before their cases are resolved, not after they are convicted. Handing people to ICE before conviction strips our community of the accountability it deserves and harms victims by robbing them of a court process. If a person is convicted, the prison system shares information with ICE. And we have reached out to Hennepin and Ramsey County Sheriff's offices to see if they're changing anything based on this cooperation. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office says they have not changed anything. Julie.
All right. Thank you, Ian. Attorney General Keith Ellison is weighing in on the drawdown efforts. In a statement today, he said it's a step in the right direction, but that the surge needs to end. He went on to say he hopes Homan is successful in achieving his drawdown goal, adding, quote, the people of Minnesota want and need no less.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says he's still concerned about the roughly 2,000 agents who will remain in Minnesota, saying today's drawdown announcement does not equal de-escalation. And he's also renewing his call for Operation Metro Surge to end. Here's some of what he said during an interview with CNN within the last 2 hours.
We've had ICE operate in our city for decades. We've had ICE operate in our city even during a Trump administration. And this is not about ICE doing normal ICE stuff. The objection is to ICE pulling people off the street indiscriminately.
In an